This is a technique I invented. Well, invented may be overstepping, but it's a technique that I developed entirely on my own to fit within my overall playing technique. There are probably others out there who do what I'm doing here, but my developing of this technique was most strongly influenced by Tosin Abasi's thump playing, and he claims to have adapted it from a similar technique that Victor Wooten uses. Now, I'm not doing what Tosin is doing, or at least I don't think I am, because I'm not producing his characteristic quasi-slap bass tone. This technique, which I usually call double thumb, is more like alternate picking with only my thumb, and at times quickly replanting it to produce a very staccato articulation. Having a really long thumbnail helps me pull this off. I like a pretty long thumbnail regardless. Essentially, this technique allows me to play fingerstyle gent. Now, my intention with this video is not to show you how to do this so you can do it too, because let's be real, I know most of you watching this aren't playing with this nightmare fuel, although if you do, cool. My intention here is to show you how I took this original technique from just an idea to a maneuver that I can consistently execute. And my hope is that you can take the ideas here and apply them to a technique that you may struggle with, whether it's one that's original to you or not. The first step is to figure out what your goals are with your technique, whatever technique it may be. I wanted something that would allow me to play highly rhythmic bass lines underneath chords and melodies. That's basically it. Most of the time, your goal is probably going to be to play certain kinds of stuff with ease that, without X technique, you would not be able to efficiently do otherwise. Step 2 is to analyze how the technique works in its execution. This process might look different depending on whether you're working it out on your own or if you have a teacher to help you along. In my case, with the double thumb thing, I didn't have a teacher. I had already graduated and moved on from lessons. No matter your situation in that regard, this process will involve some seriously slow practice, like stupid slow, glacially slow. You need to be making loads of observations about the micro motions. Here's what I observed for the double thumb thing. Any upstroke needs to avoid grazing the adjacently lower string. A typical thumb stroke will have me bringing my thumb up and away from the higher strings. I can't be dipping my thumb in and out in a steep parabolic motion like this. This means I need to do essentially an upward rest stroke where my thumb comes to rest on the adjacently lower string. This keeps my spatial awareness in check and also prevents the lower string from vibrating and producing sympathetic resonance. This is ideal for really rhythmic stuff. I need to avoid click-clacking my thumbnail against the string on the upstrokes because it sounds horrible. This means I can really only mute the string with the flesh side of my thumb following an upstroke, potentially limiting, but not a deal breaker. Finally, I need to be able to execute this from my normal playing position. I shouldn't have to adjust my whole hand to do this. That's about it. These are all things that I honestly, thoroughly considered as I was working this out. Whatever technique you're hung up on, you should do the same. Step 3 is to start doing it. At first, you'll want to stay really slow like before. Don't try to do it fast if you can't do it slow. You gotta walk before you can run, right? Stay conscious of all the observations you made. Check off all the boxes for the things you need to do and be aware of. Try to acquaint yourself with the sensation of executing the technique perfectly. Continue to watch for things that might be holding you back. And as it gets more comfortable, start to throw yourself some curveballs. Come up with little exercises that use this technique in an unorthodox way. Here's a couple I've been working through for the double thumb thing. I'm still ironing those out. Over time, you'll gradually pick up the pace, and what was once impossible for you is now totally easy. This is why we practice, to make the hard stuff easy so we don't have to worry about it. Something one of my students and I keep saying to each other is, it's like mastering a golf swing. I have not mastered my double thumb thing. I still have some other curveballs I have to throw at myself. My ultimate goal is to make it so versatile and independent of my other fingers that I can mix it into almost any texture. So I hope you can take what I've discussed here and apply it to your own practice in some way. If you have any techniques you're struggling with, I'd love to hear about it. I've probably been there myself. Feel free to message me or leave a comment. With that, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.